Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you're ready to get rid of some clutter in your home. And not next month, not next week, but you're ready to get rid of all of that junk in your home today. So stick around for some tips and tricks on how to push that clutter out the door. So I'm going to be taking you guys throughout my home, showing you guys tips and tricks on how to declutter your home. And if you're like me and 95% of the rest of the population, you're not only going to be clearing your home, but you're also going to be clearing your mind. Studies have shown that having a decluttered home is going to cause your anxiety, depression, and stress to just skyrocket. So if not only do you want to clear that clutter in your home, but you want to take some of that stress away, this is a great video for you guys. So make sure you guys stick around and get some great tips to help you declutter your home. Okay guys, so when you are decluttering each room, you're going to want to have 3 items along with you. The first thing you're going to want to have is something to put your lost items in, because more times than not, most of your rooms probably have items that belong in another room. And instead of moving back and forth and wasting time, just toss that item into the bag, and then when you make it into that room, you can put it back to where it goes. And then another thing that you're going to want is a tote or a box that you can put your resale or donation items in. If you even want to separate that and have a box for donation and a box for reselling, that even organizes it a little bit more. And then finally, you're going to want something to put your trash in, because believe it or not, when you are decluttering, you are probably going to have tons of garbage that you want to get rid of. And one more thing, let's not forget, you're going to need clutter. So without further ado, let's jump right into it and start decluttering our homes. Starting off our clutter journey, we are going to head into the master bedroom. Now, surprisingly, bedrooms are ranked #1 for the most cluttered room, and that's probably because a lot of times it is a dumping ground for all kinds of random stuff. I know in my house, my kids end up bringing weird stuff in my room. I just throw stuff in here and we just collect so much stuff. So first things first, we just want to start cleaning off all of the flat surfaces. Now, I brought this basket in to put Kyle's Father's Day gift in, and it has been sitting here ever since, collecting more items than I brought in here. So I'm just going to start putting all my go backs in here. Now, while you are decluttering, I want you guys to think of 3 things. Does it belong here? Have I used it? And is it trash? These will help you declutter so much when you're wondering if you should keep it or not. So with all that done, we're going to move on to dressers. And I already know, because I hardly get into these, that 95% of the stuff in here needs to go. So when going through your clothes, ask yourself a few things. Do you wear it? If the answer is no and you still want to keep it, then ask yourself, had you had a chance to wear it and you chose not to? If the answer is yes, more than likely you won't ever wear it and it needs to get out of here. Next, does it fit? I am definitely guilty of keeping clothes that I hope to fit in a later date, but now I'm just saying, get rid of it. If you get into that size where you want to be, then buy some new things. It's no point of keeping and holding it on for a long time. And then finally, is it stained or ripped? If so, it is an automatic toss. And all of those tips are going to go the same when you are going through your closet. So just looking at the final, here's what I ended up trashing, and then here is my donation pile that I am going to get rid of. And now I am just grabbing the final items that need to go out of this room before moving on to the bathroom. Walking into your bathroom, I'm sure there are at least 5 things that you see right now that can go. But today, we are going even deeper to grab the things you're probably not even thinking about, but need to go. So first thing we're going to do again is clean off the counters, grabbing those lost items and garbage. And then once that is complete, we are going to move on to hair products. I'm sure a lot of us use items we've seen and thought it was going to be great, but you only end up using it once or twice, thinking that maybe at some point you'll pull it back out and use it, but in reality, you're probably never gonna use it again. So when going through the products, I want you guys to be honest with yourself. If you haven't used it within the month, it's probably time to get rid of it. So with answering those simple 3 questions, I was able to get rid of so much declutter that I had in that basket and clear out stuff that I hadn't even touched in years, and I am thrilled to get rid of it. So now let's move on to the medication. While you guys are decluttering your bathroom, it is a good time to go through and make sure you pull out anything that is old and expired. I know for me, there was tons of stuff in here I hadn't touched but still kept. One of the expiration dates was literally from 2019, so definitely time to get rid of that. And even if the expiration date is good, are you honestly going to use it again? I know that I had some stuff back from when Reese was a newborn for her, and I'm never going to touch that stuff again, so it was time to get rid of. So whether you're not going to use it or it's just too old, most of this stuff needed to go. Once I finished with the meds, I moved on to my cabinet. Now I'm going through all of my beauty face creams, lotions, and soaps, doing the same thing I did with all of my hair care products. Now I know some people say to get rid of your back stocks of soaps and lotions because that also causes clutter. But I like to have that stuff on hand because there are 6 of us and the nearest Bath & Body Works is like 2.5 hours away and we go through soap like crazy. So I want to have that stuff on hand just in case I need it. And since we use it, I think it's okay to have a little bit of back stock. Now just taking that final look of everything that I cleared out of the bathroom. Like, honestly, it was probably a whole cabinet itself that I got rid of, that stuff that I'm never going to use. And then here's some of my go backs that need to get out of the room that don't belong here, and here's all the stuff that I am discarding. Going into the kitchen, we often have lots of clutter we love to hang on to in here. So of course, we want to check the countertops and see if there's anything we need to get rid of. Now, if you have any small appliances up here, really take a look and consider letting some of the stuff go if you do not actually use it and you haven't used it within 6 months to a year. Even if it's taking up visual clutter, you can even put that stuff aside if you want to. So if you don't really need it, now is definitely a time though to let it go. So in our home, this is where we end up with our mail. So I always like going through this at least once a week, getting rid of mail that we've already opened, junk mail, and then I usually leave magazines up here for a week or two. And then once that's done, I put them in the recycling area just to get rid of because I do not want a bunch of magazines sitting around. Most of the time we can declutter around 30 to 40% of the kitchen, and that's because we're getting rid of damaged and broken dishes as well as scratched up pots and pans. So if your pans are all dinged up or even burnt on goods that you just can't get off, now is the time to just toss those suckers out, as well as Tupperware. I know I go through a lot of Tupperware, as you see. It's just easier to get rid of and get some new Tupperware than to use some of that stuff. Now, same as cups. If you don't use them, time to toss them out, or even if they're damaged. So I'm going to finish up going through these cups and plates before I jump back on. So I didn't really have as much clutter as I normally do in the kitchen, and that is because I had just recently organized the kitchen, and if you have yet to see that video, I will drop the link down in the description. But that's one of my top tips, is just to try to keep the rooms and areas organized, and you will see that you end up having a lot less clutter to clean up with. Now we're going to be moving on to the linen closet. We had recently changed our bed to a bigger size, so I know for sure there's going to be tons of blankets to get rid of in here. And that bag of curtains I haven't touched in years, so that thing's definitely getting out of here. And I always say, like, I use these bags to minimize the space in here, but I haven't touched these blankets, so if they're in a bag, they are getting out of here because they're probably not getting used. Now I'm also going to be going into my sheets. Like I said, we have a lot bigger bed, so I'm going to get rid of all of those sheets that match, as well as grabbing those mismatched sheets that are maybe stashed in the back, and adding to the donation pile. And even if you have some stained blankets or anything that you want to get rid of, talk to your animal shelter before you get rid of those blankets and toss them out, because a lot of times they'll take them as well. So going into my living room after I cleaned it and seeing a tornado of toys all over the place is what really sparked this declutter movement I'm having. Toys scattered all over the place is the first sign you have too many toys. And the second is when you have that many toys and your child is walking around still talking about how bored they are. Even though it seems like the complete opposite, the more toys you have, the more your child is less likely to play with them, just because it causes them to have more of a shorter attention span. They don't really want to dig through stuff. I mean, like, the second I cleared out all of these toys, both of my littles were over there playing because they could actually see the toys they wanted to play with. Now, I've considered doing a toy rotation once a month, just putting a couple toys back in a tote and rotating them in and out to change up their toys. I'm still debating whether I want to do it. If you guys do that, let me know in the comments how you like that. Now, the same goes with books. I'm trying to get rid of books that the kids have outgrown and are not really interested in, as well as ones they just ripped, like I said, trashed or anything like that, because just like toys, if they can't see exactly what they're looking at, they're probably not going to play with them. So the same rules apply about your clothes when getting rid of your kids' clothes. When you're going through them, really go through what they've outgrown or anything they've stained and ripped up, as well as things that they don't like as well. There are tons of clothes in here that I bought my daughter and it's just not her thing. So those are out the door. I know a lot of people go back and forth about saving kids' clothes to hand down. I tend to get rid of a majority of their clothes, but I do keep things that are in really good shape or that I spent a lot of money in. Like I said, there are some clothes that my daughter just didn't even wear brand new, so I will keep those. I know a lot of graphic tees I get rid of because those are easy to rebuy, but things that are cute that you'll probably never find again, I like to save back. So the decluttering is finally finished. I want to thank you guys all for joining me in this massive declutter video. I hope you guys were getting either some motivation or some decluttering right along with me. Let me know in the comments what you guys were up to and what your favorite part is of this video. I would love to hear it, or just stop down there and say hi. I would love to chat with you guys. Until next time, I will see you guys later.